What's up, Summer Games Done Quick 2018? My name's ProtoMagicalGirl, and I'm here with a very, very special boy and his handler, dwangoAC. So Dwango, for us today, is going to be showing off a TAS segment of the Castlevania Circle of the Moon run and breaking down a really, really neat trick that you saw in that run. Dwango?
Yeah, and obviously I've got TASBot here as our mascot. You got to have him here. I'm just showing the tool-assisted speedrun of this game. It's obviously a slightly different category, and what you just saw here is him picking up one of the DSS cards, and there's the second card there. There's something interesting about this game. You only actually need 2 cards total to pull off a pretty interesting glitch, which we're going to see here as soon as he gets back up to just below where the starting room is.
So what do the cards do?
They provide different benefits inside the game. You have 2 different cards that can be combined for various effects.
Okay.
So right here, we're already going through using one of the card effects, but we swapped cards halfway through, which triggered a summon glitch, and warped to the top of the screen, and now we're here. Now you might have seen this just a few minutes ago in the main run, but the tool-assisted speedrun takes it to a slightly different conclusion, because we can always get big bones every single time. Which is pretty awesome. But we're going to back up here. I've got save states inside the simulator, so I can at any point go back to a previous state. So I'm going to mute my audio, because when you frame advance, it tends to be kind of a little bit messy sounding. So what you can see there at the bottom of the screen is the individual frame inputs. So right here in this segment, what we did is we have 2 cards you can see on the left there, and we just moved to cards that don't actually exist while it was in the animation of performing the first effect, the first action that you should have been able to do. The effect is that when you get up here, he's going to turn kind of a gold color right about there. And we're now performing a summon we should not have. This is basically setting up for the warp glitch. But what I really want to point out is that right here, is in the lower left corner of the screen, you can kind of see the buttons that are being pressed. So you're pressing to the right now, and a bit right here, you're going to see a shuriken. So we're pressing there, and then we're pressing to the right, now we're pressing right and then up. That little shuriken move is what's actually triggering this warp glitch. So that allows us to go into this next room up here at the top, and as you can see, the game kind of doesn't know how to handle it. It stays sane enough that you're still, keeping within the confines of the room. The room is laid out correctly, but all the tiles get completely glitched, and then suddenly you get warped all the way to the ceremonial room. So it's pretty crazy how this glitch works. It obviously makes the screen look pretty nutty, right? Especially right about here, where you see all these green blocks get replaced.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty cool that the game manages to keep itself together despite being utterly destroyed. So anyway, this is just an example of one of the glitches. It's not as easy as it looks. That shuriken maneuver is pretty difficult. I talked to some of the runners ahead of time. They said they have a technique where they tend to do it while they're jumping, and they're already holding right, so they can kind of push down and then flip back up. But it definitely is not the easiest glitch, and I have to give the runners some pretty good credit for being able to pull that off. So.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, that's about all I had to show for today. We'll be back some other day.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dwango, for coming out and showing off this really neat bit of Castlevania Circle of the Moon. Much congrats to all of the runners from our Castlevania block for their excellent, excellent block and all those really, really exciting runs, and stay tuned for more.
Welcome back, everybody, and that was a fantastic Super Mario Brothers set of runs, right, people? I mean, that was pretty good. Yeah. Unbelievable. Well, we want to talk about another Super Mario Brothers game. We want to talk about SMB3 here. My name's JHobZ. I'm joined by dwangoAC and LAWS042, and we want to go through a little bit of a special segment here. Dwango, I understand you've got some stuff prepared for us to really show how hard some of these tricks are.
I do, and a lot of these are almost too hard to see in real time, so we're going to break one of them down in slow motion. But before we get there, I want to talk about some of the crazy things that are inside of Super Mario Bros. 3 you just never see. They put stuff in the game that they didn't really end up using in the way they did the level layouts that they made for the final release. But Mitch Flowerpower made a ROM hack for us. It doesn't change the physics of the game in any way, but it demonstrates a very interesting glitch.
Well, let's take a look at it.
I don't know if it's a glitch, it's more like a feature.
It's
a feature.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so we got the crowd into something else right now, but what do we got going on here?
So we've got a level here. You start with a star, and you can do this.
Oh, wow, so you can keep that whole spinning animation the whole time?
Yes.
That's unbelievable.
And you can keep doing this. Now, how hard was this section?
I didn't get past that right there. I could not even pick up the block.
And you're one of the best players here.
Yeah, one of the actually qualified SMB3 people on these couches.
This is an interesting thing that's in the game. As long as you don't touch the ground, which these don't count as a ground, you can keep spinning the entire time. So he made a pinball level.
And so does this have an application in speedrunning or just in you know, kind of these ROM hacks or anything?
Not really. Yeah, there's no real benefits to this other than it looks cool, I guess.
But you do have to do it for this level, right?
Yes, for this specific hack, because you saw those like little air bubbles. And if you don't have the spin, it's not gonna like lift you up high enough to make it past them.
So this far, like this long since the game came out, we're still finding new things and new ways to make creative levels in SMB3.
Yeah, I mean, we just found stuff, you know, a couple months, maybe a year ago, that in Warpless that changed how we looked at some of the category. So like,
that is nuts.
Yeah.
The game's physics are pretty intensely interesting. You'll note, by the way, this is currently paused and those munchers are still going. This is another feature I just wanted to throw out here. It was happenstance that this video included it, but these continue to go even if you're paused, which is a common use that was employed in several 7.1.
Yeah, it was used in a one of the Kaizo Mario hacks. So you know, pause to like get the munchers to get into the spot you want them.
And I've seen runners do it even in normal runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just set up cycles better for themselves, that kind of thing.
Exactly. So I'm going to take an opportunity here to switch to another segment I have to show you here. And this is going to be used. And I'm going to let you see what it looks like first and then explain why it's so ridiculously hard.
Well, cool. Let's see if we can bring that up. There we go.
Let's run this really quick. So that jump, it looks simple. It really, I mean, it looks like it should be super easy. You're just bouncing off a wall, right?
Yeah, like you're just like jumping into the wall and then you're up on top of it. It's easy.
Just right here, right?
Pretty simple.
Well, it's actually pretty hard. If you look in the lower left corner of the screen, which is kind of covered up just a little bit, you'll see, actually maybe we can hide that bottom third a little bit if we can. At the very bottom of the screen is the list of inputs that are being shown. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you too easily here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to quite
Basically, I'll show you, so I'll just describe what's happening. So we're currently jumping and with the apex of the jump, and you have to hit a very specific pixel right here. And you can see Mario is embedded in the wall just a little bit. It's not much, but it's just enough. And if you jump at just exactly that frame, Mario can jump up the wall. But this is frame perfect, pixel perfect. Mm-hmm. How hard is this to do in real time?
It is, I mean, it's kind of basically what you said. It's like you have to hit, you know, one pixel. It's basically every 16th pixel is a wall jump pixel. So you have to hit one of those. And then you have one frame when Mario hits the wall to jump.
Now, do you have any kind of, you know, visual cues or things that set you up for that?
There's a good visual cue for hitting the pixel. You can't really do a visual cue on a one-frame trick, as far as like, you just have to kind of get a feel for the timing. But yeah, there is a pretty good visual cue like on where to jump off the block to basically hit the pixel probably that 70-75% of the time. And
as Dwango was getting to, this is basically required, right, in the race that we're going to see?
Yes. Unlike Warpless, all forts, you're going to have one less P-Wing. And this is deemed easier than the other strat that would be required since you don't have the extra P-Wing.
So as a runner of this game, on average, how many attempts would you say it takes you? I mean, I'm sure it's one of those things you could sit there and one day you get it on the first and the next you get it in 100 attempts, but...
I'm happy with like 5 or 6.
Wow. In a category that's, you know, a game that's this old, so it's been this optimized, and still you're going to be taking something that takes that many attempts. Yeah. That's just how hard it is.
Yeah, it's not easy. Like I said, I've legitimately had times where I've basically timed out from not being able to get it. So.
Right.
I actually spoke with Grand Pooh Bear before this started, and he said that he's been practicing a lot on this particular technique that's absolutely required, because if you don't, you're kind of in trouble.
Right.
And he did it about the third time every time he showed it to me. It was usually between the first to third time. He could usually get it within 3 attempts. We'll see how much flower power does. I haven't checked up on his progress.
We'll see. So
we'll see.
what level is that going to be actually showing up in?
6-9.
6-9. So keep an eye out, folks, because that should be pretty interesting to see. It could potentially mean the leads swing, you know, if they're pretty close at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this could be a game changer.
Yeah, should be awesome.
Well, I'd like to thank Tina Hacks, who helped me make the tool-assisted speedrun portion of the ROM hack you saw earlier, the Spinball. That was made by Mitch Flowerpower as a ROM hack demonstration level, so thanks to those two. Thanks to Lasso for making this portion. He was able to pull off the glitch. I did some testing with it after the fact, and it really is very, very precise. I tried making it a little bit tighter and faster, and you just can't. This is so frame and pixel perfect that I couldn't better your performance in a TAS. So that takes some serious talent right there.
I mean, 60 FPS game, right? So
yeah.
0.016 seconds.
Yeah.
Is
16 milliseconds.
The frame, yeah. That is how long one frame is. That's the only window you get.
Yep.
That's pretty amazing. Well, any last words before we head over for the next race?
Well, if you liked what you saw here with the tool-assisted speedrun, always head on over to tasvideos.org for more of that kind of content. If you'd like to see more of the console verification side with TASBot doing this on real hardware, just go to tasbot.net, or I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitch at dwangoAC on there. So that's where you can find that content. As always, thank you very much, and that's all I had.
Well, thanks Dwango, and thank you Lasso for giving us the runner perspective on the TAS and everything. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to the front because we've got a pretty exciting race coming up. Super Mario Bros. 3 between Mitch Flowerpower and Grand Pooh Bear. I think a few people in the crowd might be a little excited about this one coming up, maybe. You know, one or two. One or
Just
two.
a couple.
Just
All right, I'm going to throw it back to the front. Thanks, everybody.
Hello, SGDQ 2018. All right, so this is the TASBot block. It is, or the TAS block. There are a ton of things we want to show you, but we're going to start with Celeste, and because there are so many awesome people here, I'm going to let them introduce themselves, starting with...
I'm DevilSquirrel, and I created the TAS along with KDT and Kilaye.
Over here on the couch, we have...
I'm YP. I lost the race.
No, that's not the way to start. You're awesome. Thanks, you, Yoshibro.
I'm Hornlitz. I run this game. I also TAS the game.
I'm TGH. I run this game not quite as fast as the TAS.
I am Covert Muffin. I have never completed a run of this game, but I have a PhD in getting excited about stuff. Yeah.
So I hope you guys are excited too. As always, TASBot plays things as fast as the hardware and the game code can handle. This is in no way designed to shame any runner. You cannot possibly beat TASBot. It doesn't work that way. So let's push the hardware as fast and as hard as we can. I'm going to hand it over to DevilSquirrel to kick it off.
All right. So first off, I'd just like to thank again, everyone with their generous donations to make this happen. 65,000 is amazing. So I think we just give a round of applause again.
Yeah. Thank you.
And so, Celeste is an awesome game. It was released in January of this year. Awesome devs. Unfortunately, they're on a plane back to Vancouver. So they're going to have to watch the VOD. But I wanted to first show off basically the dash moment or techniques, because this game goes by so fast that it's going to be really hard to really understand anything. So first off, we have just our basic dash, which is just a horizontal dash. You use it a lot. If you jump out of this dash, you're going to have what we call a super dash, or dash jump, or dash cancel as people call it. And so it gives you a little extra speed boost, and you get a normal height out of your dash jump. Then we come back and we have the diagonal down dash. This is a little slower on the ground when you first do it, but when you jump out of it, it's called a hyper dash. And so you get a little more speed, you move a lot faster, but your height that you jump isn't quite as high. And then beyond that, we have the ultra dash. And so the ultra dash is basically a hyper dash followed directly by another down diagonal dash. And so we'll do that here real quick. So this right here, the jump is the hyper, and then we do another down diagonal dash. And this is an ultra that has a lot more speed, and it gets used in the TAS all over in some crazy movement. It's been used in the RTA as well, but of course it's not as awesome as you'll see here shortly. And so let's get the run started.
Great. Man, I'm so excited for this. This is gonna be
I hope
great.
you guys are ready for this, because this is really something special, like seriously.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we get the audience to count down from 5.
Let's go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
It's spelled out test, nice.
So we start off in the prologue. The game limits us a little bit. We don't have our dash here. We just have the jump, grab, and climb. We can still go fast, though. You'll have corner boost, which you'll see here. Madeline jumps at the very top of these corner ledges, and you get a little speed boost. You'll also see here that we do a whole bunch of jumping. Each jump gives you a little bit of a speed boost and saves a couple frames.
I believe it's 2 frames per jump, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, overall in the prologue, hopping repeatedly saves around 1 second.
Hey guys, by the way. Hi.
Uh-oh.
I'm here now.
Oh, hey, Kev.
Oh, hi, Kevin.
I hope you're not tired of me. I'm not tired of you yet, so.
So yeah, chapter 1's going to go by extremely quickly here. You're going to have a whole lot of dashes, a whole lot of hypers, a whole lot of ultras.
Oh, what?
Something tells me you're going to hit that lap a lot.
So yeah, Hornlitz behind me here actually has the world record in this level, and his time is 7 seconds behind the TAS.
Oh. Wow. Nice. Yes, a lot of these positioning are really precise, right? Right, Devil? Like trying to get over these corners?
I mean, we spent 2 to 3 months working on this. Just a whole lot of work, sweat and blood.
Tears.
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
And there we go.
DevilSquirrel, thank you so much, man. Thank you for doing this. It's so sick.
I know, it's awesome.
So yeah, even with that level, that's the shortest level in the game, and having done the level way too much myself, like I already know, like there's way more different strats that I saw in that task than what I do. So the task just has so much like crazy stuff that it can do that RTA just really can't.
All right, so now we're in chapter 2. We'll have a new mechanic here, the dream blocks, which we're going to see here very shortly.
What? It jumped on Spike?
Yep, and that's the first glitch in the run too, where you actually skip that cutscene in the air to keep your Y position and end up in the dream block.
Even TAS in sync with the music. That's
The double hop on entry. That's so unnecessary.
And so now you'll see we have Battleline chasing us, but she's not that much of a match.
Well, she goes just as fast.
Yo, that's my strat right there. That's my strat.
I feel like Battleline should be reported to the leaderboard for copying a run.
Yeah, real talk though, TAS battling is terrifying.
Yeah, did you have to do like any alternate routing, Devil?
Yeah, we did so much routing to actually find what was optimal, just going back and through all these different screens. Another thing that it's hard to see here, but you can actually jump out of these dream blocks, and the TAS can actually do it twice if you're very fast with it.
What?
I just want to point out, this is like the best part of the task right here, so just keep an eye on the movement.
Tej does this all the time in his runs.
What? No, it's not. Oh my God! Wow! Wow!
So that was kind of a. Oh, go ahead, Teach.
Can I just make a point to say I can't do that? I cannot do that.
Yeah, that was something of an oversight in the movement design, I think, or coding, I suppose, in that when you dash horizontally, like to the right, for example, there is a slowdown at the end of the dash. But if you dash diagonally down, for example, and you jump in the first frame, the movement isn't capped. Like the velocity isn't capped, so you just keep going.
Wow. Did you just clip through that?
So yeah, now we get to see some of these dust bunnies or dust boys, as some of the people call them.
Dust boy.
Why didn't you keep the strawberry? Should have kept it.
I have to remember to breathe. I'm just like so focused. This is so amazing.
That cheeky corner boost to the top, too. That was nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, baby.
We have a nice corner boost there.
Oh, wow. All right.
So yeah, this room here gives most people a lot of trouble, but let's see, we'll just move through it pretty cleanly.
You can do it this well, right, Tish?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
No problem.
TAS copies my strats.
What?
All right, now you're just showing off.
You're right there in that last room. There was a strat that where you can actually, if you jump at a corner with spikes on it, you can actually just jump off of those spikes. It's like a frame or two that you have to do it.
The gist is, as long as you're not moving towards the spikes, they won't kill you. So if you can imagine kind of grazing them from beneath, and as long as you're still moving away from the spikes and you're in jumpable range, you can jump from the spike wall.
Correct.
And yeah, some players do that twice in the 80% run.
Yeah.
Huh.
You can make that?
A lot of cycle skips here. And also coming up, we're going to have the first instance of water boosting, where Madeline jumps on every single frame to get a huge boost.
Yep.
What?
Also perfectly RTA viable.
How tight is that window for the water boost?
It's impossible. Don't worry about it.
Have you tried?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, can't you mash at 60 hertz or whatever, 30 hertz?
Have you seen me?
Yeah.
Do you see how buff my index finger is?
So here we actually retried because it's a lot faster, and we keep the key.
Were those ultras on the platforms too?
They were just typers. So yeah, in this game you have a thing called coyote jumping. Or
Something tells me Oshiro will not catch her. I don't know what.
Yeah, what Devil began to say there is that in in both this game and its predecessor, Towerfall, by the same developer, you can jump after leaving a surface. It's kind of a game feel thing, and I'm sure it's used plenty in here.
This screen's ridiculous.
What?
Sit down.
The swag boop.
No, that's just bad mannered. I'm sorry. Wow.
There we go.
And we're only 8 minutes in. Oh my goodness, this is
Yeah, pretty much every single room in that level, like the task is like at least half a cycle, if not a full cycle ahead of what RTA can do.
So yeah, Golden Ridge here is going to introduce two new mechanics, the clouds and then wind, which most people don't really like.
I don't think this has mines though.
Here we have more water boosting.
This is cool.
No way! No way!
So coming up, the auto-scroller skip that I tried to do yesterday and failed, or 2 days ago and failed. Yeah, TAS will have no problem with that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, it's a new strat. Maybe he hasn't had time to practice it.
What?
I mean, so is that. Yeah, here we go. Easy.
Easy.
That's what, 3 frame accurate inputs? Is that right?
Yep. Well, RTA virtually needs that block to get enough momentum to get over there, but.
Do some bubble
No
skipping.
need for that. No need for that bubble. It's fine. I actually found this strat the other day in the practice room. There we go. Skip that block.
Hey, wait, you were actively working on it up until yesterday, Devil.
Yep.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
That's a
yes,
pretty cool
yes.
one, too. Yeah.
That is
So hot.
So far,
Tech.
yeah, so far, only one person's been able to pull that one off.
I mean, I know I'm a friendly person in general, but these spikes seem to be very friendly as well.
Nice.
Wow, yeah, nice. So landing on that snowball, got the dash back, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, you get your dash backs from landing on things and then screen transitions.
Also, in the next room, you're going to want to pay attention to a pretty hot strat.
Best jump of the game, right there. Best jump of the game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the only real spike jump where the wind actually pushes you into the spikes, and then you can buffer out of them.
And that does save time, right? That saves time over the,
A very small amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
So-
It's worth it, though.
So, Devil, be honest, how long did it take you to task the feather?
The feather is very hard because it's analog movement. So, I mean, you have to actually spend the time to get the degrees of how you want your analog stick to be.
Oh, interesting. Wow. This is my favorite chapter, by the way.
Beating that cycle is very difficult, but it's possible RTA, but TAS makes it look easy, of course.
And here we have another cutscene skip like in Chapter 2. We're going to get enough height to actually get up here on top of the button right away.
What? I didn't even know you could do that.
This is cool. Watch this.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this. The corner boost skips the entire room. That saves like 3 seconds.
No way.
Oh, and double bubble skip, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
Shout outs to double bubble skip.
You got that first try in your
First try. First try.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, I remember that. It was real cool.
Yeah.
So here we're going to be going into another dream transition where we're actually playing as a seeker. Just kill ourselves.
All right. You can menu that fast, right?
Yeah. I don't think this section needs any words. For the record. Especially when we get to the Theo Crystal section.
Oh,
it gets ridiculous.
So yeah, we try and manipulate these seekers to actually hit these switches. You do it a lot more in RTA, but in the TAS we can skip a lot of them because we go so fast.
Not bad.
Another skip here where RTA runners do this with a reverse hyper, and we just, go right over.
That's a nice twist. I like that.
Watch this. I like this one right here. Sit down. Yeah, this is one of the main features right here.
This is my favorite section.
Yep.
You're really going to want to pay attention here. This is probably like one of the best parts of the task.
The most impressive part for sure.
It's not yet, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. This isn't even the good part.
Here we go.
It's this room here.
This right here.
What? Did he just clip through a spike wall?
Yes.
What? No way!
Yeah, we can actually use Theo to build up momentum on those platforms, moving platforms.
Oh man!
So good.
Wow!
I don't know if this was mentioned, by the way, but once you get hyper momentum, so like once you hyper along the ground, if you hop right away, it's called the bunny hop. You actually preserve that momentum, and it was pretty obviously done there.
Unbelievable.
I guess worth mentioning as well is that clipping isn't kind of traditional clipping where you're moving too much per frame for the wall to know you hit it, but rather those spikes don't have collision until the camera is near it. So Madeline's is effectively far enough ahead of the camera, the spikes don't kill you yet.
Going for leg skip.
First try.
Easy.
Easy every time.
So yeah, now we get the feather. You're gonna love this here.
Yeah, this is brutal.
What? Wow. Devil, can you just task my way to work, man?
Anytime.
Shout out to Kevin, by the way.
Thank you, crowd. That was excellent. Yeah, thank you. Please. Oh, keep it going, yeah.
Oh, this stop! Yo!
Yeah, we actually use a dash to stop ourselves.
Yeah, no more. Wah! None of that, okay? No more. Now instead, oh! Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I feel like we should have like a donation bid war for that or something. All right. What?
So yeah, upcoming here, we're actually gonna verge away from what our TA runners do. Most of them go top to bottom, and when we're gonna do bottom top. It's just ever so slightly faster.
I've never even seen this room. It's funny, actually, some runners actually have a split, or there's a split. Some runners go top, some runners go bottom. I think it's about 0.3 seconds faster to go top, but a lot of runners still prefer to go bottom just because it's easier.
Interesting.
Casual skip here.
Yeah, not bad. Yep.
Devin Toon skips here.
Oh, who needs the setup for that?
Yeah, seriously.
More water boosting.
Yep.
That's so cool. I love that.
I'll check this part out.
Gonna have a little fun.
So the speed we get here. Never mind. Never mind.
Wow.
Now we're in the fight with Battle Line. I think it'll go pretty good.
Chat spam, hey, please.
I'm just so mesmerized by this. This is incredible.
I think we all are.
What?
A variation of that strat is actually possible and used widely in RTA as well. But,
okay.
But of course, TAS does it way better than anyone ever can.
It's just all the corner clips and stuff are just insane to me.
Yep. I did you a favor. You aren't a mountain climber.
You haven't seen this yet, right? So how long do you think it's going to take to finish?
Oh boy. Oh no. Putting me on the spot. Let's say 22 minutes? 23 minutes? I don't know.
You're not that far off.
So yeah, what's your time in this, Teach?
My time?
Yep.
For Chapter 6 or for the whole game?
Full whole game.
30 minutes, 47 seconds. Why do you ask?
Do you want to know?
Wow, yeah. You guys can cheer for that. That was pretty incredible.
So now, as you can see, we've leveled up and we have 2 dashes, which we're going to abuse a lot.
Does the TAS even need to level up?
505.
Wow.
So the RTA, or not RTA, but the IGT record for human for Chapter 6 is 551, a very low 551.
Wow.
Yeah, so put that in perspective.
Man, this music's giving me goosebumps, man. This is
Shout out Lena Rain. I know you're watching. The composer of Celeste. Thanks a lot. Wish you were here.
So the summit is just the culmination of all of the chapters into one. So here we're going to be going into the Chapter 1 section.
don't even need the extra upward momentum. There we go.
So if you were watching the Celeste race a couple days back, we were mentioning how one bug that we fixed post-release, it was due to you dash towards a wall with your climb, press down, and you jump to climb, and you just wouldn't climb. So upon fixing that bug, that introduced corner boosts, and I know that that made DevilSquirrel very happy. So I'm curious. I know you're testing it before the corner boosts were introduced. Like, what kind of difference did that make?
Yeah, the corner boost actually helped quite a bit. It's crazy just how often you do it, and just how the small frames add up over time. It probably saved 30 seconds.
Well, and isn't the end of Chapter 2 not even possible in the TAS version without?
Yeah, the very end of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Whew. So if you dash through one of those blocks and hit a wall, that was just like instant death. So like how closely cut those corners were was insane.
Yeah, as long as your hitbox is touching another dream block, you can go through it.
1500 is a really cool segment.
Wow.
The polite wait.
This next room is probably one of my least favorite casually, but
What? What?
Yeah, that.
Finishing up Chapter 3, on to Chapter 4. You're going to see more of the wind and then a few more auto-scroller skips.
Yeah. Does he get the strawberry?
We'll find out.
Please tell me we keep the strawberry for the whole session. Please.
Please. Come on. Just one. Give me one.
Fun fact about strawberries, by the way, is we're going to go for the auto scroll skip here. I wonder if he's going to get it. I think he got it. I think he got it.
Just go right through those spikes there. There's a little gap.
And give him a hand.
So the thing about strawberries is if they take 9 frames in a quote-unquote safe spot on the ground to collect. So if you don't touch the ground for 9 frames, you never collect the strawberry. So we just take the strawberry that we got at the very beginning of the section and then take it all the way to the end. Because we're the TAS.
Oh. I mean, still taking it this far is really impressive.
Yeah. And even if you could take it this far, you can't take it past where Battle Line drops you off at 2,500 meters.
Sure.
Like right here, you're forced to stay on the ground for 9 frames. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice corner boost. Nice corner boost.
Wow.
nice corner boost.
Yeah, nice corner boost.
Yep.
Few ultras.
Wow.
Just does that skip like it's nothing.
Yep. Yeah. So is the TAS going to go for door skip, you think?
Maybe.
I don't know. It's a hard. It's a pretty hard trick. I don't know.
I'm really hoping there's that one skip that's like impossible RTA. Or excuse me, possible RTA, but impossible.
Yeah. One.
Oh, there's one. There's one. Hey!
It's officially a real run.
Nice, dude. First try.
It saves 9 years, I heard.
Yeah. I think it's the biggest time saver in the game.
Saves about 1 second in reality.
I was going to say if it was 9 years, my estimate would have been really off. All right, here we go. Yeah, I know the crowd likes to count these numbers out. 29.
It's going to skip a lot of them, though, I feel. So
28.
27. 26.
25. 23. 22.
Come on, TASBot.
1.
Just a few corner boosts.
Just corner boost.
This is so fun, man.
19. 17. Counting with Celeste.
Counting with TASBot.
that was cool. That was especially cool right there.
14.
Frame perfect skip there.
Wait.
Yeah, we don't need to grab that. It's fine.
You kept Madeline close to those spikes just to build tension.
11.
I love that down diagonal dash.
9. Oh, no. 7.
So are we going to see the bunny hop 2 skip like YP did here during the race?
5. 4.
Up close and personal with the spikes, of course.
All right, here we go.
2.
2.
Oh. One.
Are we going to do it?
Come on.
Don't reset too early. Okay.
Yeah. 25-21.
25-21. Pretty reasonable, right?
730 summit's not bad either.
So we have the credits here. We're gonna skip past that. So we have a little something special here. We're gonna actually reset And we're going to show you the seasides.
What?
Yep.
No way.
We're doing seasides really quick, just so you know. We do have save and kill. TASBot will literally kill the animals if you pick that option. So just warning you, Super Metroid is pretty crazy, so get that in while you can. You've only got a few minutes left. All right, I'm going to let you throw it over to you for seasides.
All right. So do we want to do it again? Come on, audience. Count from 5. 5,
5,
4,
3, 2, 1, go!
All right. So we're going to start off again in the prologue, but it's going to be a little different. We're going to go to the left.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a cheat code to get all of the levels unlocked. And so now we're in the first seaside.
Yeah, for those who aren't aware, the seasides are basically the really brutal levels in this game. The level designer kind of went a little easy on the main game, but definitely let his his evil side take flight here.
Wow.
Don't try that at home.
I haven't seen this either. This is new to me.
Yeah, I've never seen any of these.
It's a little bit impressive, I would say.
So yeah, all the seasides are 3 screens, and they're pretty difficult.
This is so cool. So you don't even get the buttons that you need to move this block at the end of the level right here up. Instead, we just do that. That's a frame perfect trick right there to get through that.
Wow. No way.
I just heard the power up audio guys and they're like, oh.
Oh, man.
Who cares about cycles?
I'm waiting for it.
Oh, here we go.
Sit down.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
I've never acknowledged that ledge.
By the way, this is the best B and C side remix, by the way. Hope you guys know that. No. No, don't even.
I mean, personally, I think they're all the best.
They're all really good.
Oh, yeah.
Especially this one.
Yeah.
I just wish we got to hear more of the tracks themselves. For me playing and to hear more of them, but...
Nice.
You're going to love this level.
This is the coolest one, for sure. The last screen gets pretty ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
You can do it, right, Teach?
Yeah, for sure. I do it. I attempt it every time. And by that I mean I would never attempt it ever. This strat with the block, we do a variation of that RTA. But this part, not really.
No way! Wow! Can you science that one for me real quick?
So yeah, those Kevin blocks, as we like to call them, give you a little speed boost, but if you do a backwards reverse dash onto them as well, you get an extra speed boost, which just obliterates it.
Okay.
Basically, you just need to input like 80 inputs in a frame. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, sure. Easy.
Yeah.
Okay, no need for that spring. No need for that, that's fine.
No.
Oh, now you're showing off. Getting a haircut.
Yeah. Wow.
And one more yet?
This one's also pretty awesome.
Yep.
Oh, the core.
So yeah, the whole gimmick of the core is that you actually don't get your dash refreshed when you hit the ground. It's only when you enter the next room or you get a dash refresh crystal. But the seaside here is still incredibly fast, even with not being able to dash as often.
Yeah, just don't blink or you'll miss this.
This next room here.
No way!
So it's supposed to be fire right here. Okay, there we go. Never mind. All right.
Just skip all of that.
Yeah, that's fine.
No.
GG.
Wow,
That's it.
So we get to see our pie here.
Oh, that's my favorite flavor of pie.
I feel like the old lady in the bottom left corner is exactly how I feel right now.
So yeah, that was the seasides.
Yeah, I just want to say really fast, if you don't mind, Devil. It wasn't explicitly said, but I'm part of the dev team, and I can speak for the whole team. I know I can. This kind of thing is so mind-blowing. Just seeing somebody tear into our work so much in the best way possible, and just exploring the full potential of what we've made. It's mind-blowing, heartwarming, and thank you so much, man. It's so good.
No problem. It was awesome. Made an awesome game.
Yeah. Yeah, congratulations, Devil, and everybody else who helped out.
No way! Shout out to Sextract.
So before we move on, there's one more thing to say about Celeste here. There's actually a couple of quick things. So you might have noticed that you had TASBot holding a visualization board so you could see what buttons were being pressed. This was made possible by Illy and Serisium and a couple of other people supporting, along with MediaMagnet, Timeshifter, a few other folks. I can't even keep track of everyone. And I'd also like to point out that one of the things about this TAS is that oftentimes the discovery in the TAS process leads to improvements in real-time running. I love seeing that, and I know you've done that a couple of times now.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. Yeah, Devil's been a huge part of helping the community find strats and just finding the strats. I mentioned this in the interview the other day, but finding strats and making the Marche viable ourselves, finding new stuff in that regard. So yeah, huge shout out to DevilSquirrel.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
huge part of that.
Yeah, the TAS helps the runners, and the runners help the TAS.
It's exactly, and I love seeing that fusion. All right, we're going to move on to a Super Metroid you have never seen before, so stay tuned. We're going to do a quick switch, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Woo! You said at the top of the elevator.
All right. Well, welcome back. I'm dwangoAC. We're going to play some Super Metroid, but before we do that, I'll give you a last couple of a last couple of seconds for kill versus save. I'm going to let the couch that is mic'd introduce themselves here. Over here we have
Antinomy, a.k.a. QualityChris, a.k.a. the guy on the left.
My name is TopsyTurve, just another Super Metroid runner.
Right.
We are Freyaspirit, another Super Metroid runner.
Over here, I'm going to let you introduce your friend next to you.
And this is Oatsngoats, world record holder for Hundo Map and runner earlier this week.
Next to him is Stump, who has been helpful with all kinds of random stuff over the course of the last week, as has been the case in several marathons at this point. And on my right is my right-hand man, MediaMagnet. He's been a huge help throughout this whole process. So, with that, I am afraid it is time to close Kill versus Save, and I need to know what won.
Save the animals.
Save the animals.
Good.
Now,
well,
and having said that, and I know this might not make the tech team too happy, but I want you to keep this poll open because we have one more opportunity after this. So, Super Metroid is saved, but we'll see what happens later. All right. Stump, would you be so kind as to kick us off by hitting that power button in, let's see, 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go.
This is the 0% run, and we are cheating a little bit by copying the save file ourselves, because that's just easier.
So as this run starts, we'd like to talk a little bit about the history of any percent glitched. In 2007, Kajardin found a way to get stuck in a metal door and glitch his way into Torian using X-ray climbing. Since then, a number of brilliant minds in the community have contributed to improving that, including Hero of the Day, CP Adolf, Sniq, Total, and Internized Dragon. In 2008, they found a method to X-ray climb to Torian which did not require crystal flash, allowing you to complete the game with only 6% of items. In 2014, they found a game end glitch.
Yeah, look at that jig.
Which allowed you to finish the game in the room with the ship, allowing you to completely bypass entering Torian. And a few months later, they found a better game end glitch, which allowed you to complete the game with only 2% of items. And earlier this year, they found a way to complete the game with only 0% of items. And since then, a few improvements have been made, bringing you what we have here. And now Dwango is going to talk about all the work that went into making this sync.
So you're going to notice some really painful sections here that any real speedrunner on this knows not to do. In fact, Samus in this room is pretty much going to derp all over the place.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The reason for that is because we have to compensate for some real hardware differences that we don't have in an emulator. In fact, at one point in time, we did not think it was even possible to make Super Metroid sync on a console. We got an escape time of 4440, which is, interestingly, the exact value we got in the emulator. We don't always get that. Sometimes it changes. Sometimes it's 4442. Sometimes it's 35. The reason that happens is because there's actually two clocks on a Super Nintendo. The main CPU clock is 21 megahertz, and it's driven by a true quartz crystal oscillator, or clock. The sound clock is 24.576 megahertz, and it is driven by a ceramic oscillator, which isn't too accurate even when it's new, and 25 years later is really not as accurate as it used to be. What results is that sounds have to play before you can go through door transitions. When that happens, it sometimes takes a little bit longer. The process gets offset, so what happens is that things desync. To compensate for that, we wait at certain periods, exactly like what you're seeing right here. Samus is not yet taking off to the left because we have to compensate for the fact that that cutscene might have taken too long. So I'm going to kick it over to the couch for the rest of the commentary here. And the serious arm pumping. What the heck, man?
Yeah, so Samus here is arm pumping at perfect 30 hertz, which is as fast as Samus can do, frame perfectly. And you'll see a quick moonfall here into a frame perfect pause, shot to open the door, and then glitch right through these blocks out of bounds. And now we're going to see Samus just kind of run into a whole lot of nothingness, just a big abyss of Metroid goodness, until eventually you'll see once it enters into the next room, pop right into that bounds again, just because why not, right? And then some more perfect arm pumps, which are absolutely incredible.
In the next room, you're going to see a moonfall into quick drops, frame-perfect turnarounds, and during these frame-perfect turnarounds, during the dance, your fall speed is actually increasing, and this, at the bottom, this is going to allow you to clip through the blocks.
Nice little jig, and then goodbye, right down to the bottom. Now, this jump here is actually going to land frame perfectly right at the edge, so 1 pixel away from going into the door transition, and then it's going to frame perfect pause to shot to go one little moonwalk every single pause, and not initiate the door transition. So it's going to keep doing this for a little bit until eventually Samus is going to just pop right out of bounds again.
Every time you unpause, there is 1 frame where you will not interact with the door transitions, and they're abusing this, walking to the door little by little to try to get to the other side of the door transition.
You can see only a little bit of her gun remains visible, and that will just keep going a little bit more, 1 segment at a time. And while this is happening, what will happen next?
Yeah, so you're going to see Samus go into out of bounds again, which is, I should just mention, out of bounds is kind of like a slurry of code. So it creates a whole bunch of random blocks in the game, and these blocks can do anything. I mean, you can have a block that'll teleport you to a random area in the map, have a block with a value that will damage you or kill you or crash the game, and others are solid, so you can run around. So they all just, it's just a random slurry of code that creates random out of bounds movement, or allows for random out of bounds movement, which actually gives birth to just the any percent glitch run itself. So right whenever Samus pops out of bounds, you'll see some pretty interesting movement.
And a lot of that movement is designed around trying to avoid any of the crash blocks while reaching the block that they want to reach.
Which typically
listen carefully at this section. Hear what you hear the background?
Oh, and then the perfect damage boost there.
We appear to be taunting the animals.
Is that an incentive?
I first battled the Metroids on planet Zebes. This time, I was in a hurry. So instead of fighting them again, I decided to explore places where no one had ever gone before. It was there I found the hidden access to the Zebes self-destruct sequence. This was fortunate, because I had to get home in time to watch a stream of my favorite Twitch charity marathon. But before leaving Zebes, I received one final mission from the Supreme Galactic Defense Queen. Save the animals.
Oh, look, she's firing hearts. How cute. Might want to look in the upper right corner.
Oh, look at that. Tiles.
Oats.
Tile counter.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of rooms.
Do you do that strat, Oats?
Oh, no spin, no ball?
Uh-oh.
No morph ball.
How do you get through that? Oh.
There we go.
What the?
It's going to dance her way out.
7,000 tiles.
Oh, this is frame perfect, by the way.
95,000 tiles.
Oh my god.
Oats, you missed like 94,000 tiles.
And huge thanks to Total for providing this payload.
Yeah, this was all written by Total with many, many hours of work in the last week. Let's see if the animals are really saved. Looking good.
There it is. Yeah. Four minutes.
GG.
4 minutes.
4 minutes in
GG.
game time.
So this original task was made by Sniq. He is amazing. All of this payload was done by Total. There's a huge team in the TASBot crew. I can't even name them all. There's a speedrunning community. So many people to thank. The original credits are going to run now, and we are going to allow them to continue to play as we switch over for the next run, which is F0GX. Please stick around for that. You're not going to want to miss it. There's another opportunity for save versus kill there, too, and you'll see what we mean when we get there. So we're going to mute the mics, and we'll be right with you.
So while these credits are rolling, this is the appropriate time for this donation I have sitting right here. TASBot donated $1,337. And TASBot says, dwangoAC asked me to make a donation on behalf of his Twitch subscribers. He promised them he would give the money at SGDQ. He gave the money to me to donate. I could keep the money. I do not need human money. I will give it to the humans at Doctors Without Borders instead. They need it more than I do. Thank you very much, TASBot and Dwango. Scurvy donated $50 and says, I, for one, accept our robot overlords, as you should. Knight of Me donated $250 and says, beep boop, TASBot, best bot. Anonymous donated $50 and says, what is a TASBot? Please explain. I am Mr. Popo donated $50. It says TASBot Best Bot 2018. So as a quick reminder, we're all getting excited over TASBot, but coming up after this last TASBot run of F0GX, there is going to be the Pokemon 2 Games 1 Controller run. And about halfway into that run, we have until we can meet this donation incentive for the runner, MeGotsThis, to get Moltres and Lapras into his team and include them in his rosters. That is just a bit over $25,000 short, but I've seen you guys hit much harder targets in way less time. So now that we've passed the Super Metroid, let's start throwing our donations in that direction. Groundflyer donated $50. It says, TASBot orders me to donate. TASBot thinks helping others is optimal for human survival. Thank you very much, Groundflyer. I have an anonymous $100 donation that simply says, donating so that when TASBot rules the world, it remembers I supported it. Thank you very much. We are still getting tons of donations. Thank you everybody who's sending in all of your money. It's going to a great cause. And for those of you who are just tuning in, you are watching Summer Games Done Quick 2018 from Bloomington, Minneapolis, where we are supporting Doctors Without Borders, also known as MSF. For those of you who do not know, MSF is a medical humanitarian organization working in more than 60 countries around the world. MSF is a private international association. They provide assistance to populations in distress, to victims of natural or man-made disasters, and to victims of armed conflict. They do so irrespective of race, religion, creed, or political convictions. And you can always find out more at doctorswithoutborders.org. All right, I have $25 from Gravis Lizard, who says, SGDQ's off the hook. Spend this $25 on lozenges for the audience's sore throats. All right, I have an anonymous donation for $50 that simply says, TASBot! And with that, we're going to toss it back to Dwango on his couch for one quick surprise. Then we'll get right back into it.
Right. So I wanted to show you one other thing. We obviously got 0%, as you can see. But there's one other thing that I need to show you here. I'm going to reset and show you slot 3. You know that validation chest you keep hearing about if you've been listening to other games? Well, this one doesn't have a validation chest. It has a validation slot. And if you start it, it says, for the task block at Summer Games Done Quick 2018, the animals were saved. And this will remain on the cartridge until it gets deleted. So TASBot left his mark. All right, we're going to move away from Super Metroid and move toward, we're going to move toward F-Zero GX on the GameCube. So we'll give them just a second to switch over to that. All right, so I'm going to make a quick introduction. This is one David J. He is going to walk us through commentary on individual level replays. These were made in the Dolphin emulator by a fair number of people, and I'll let him introduce who made each level so you can remember them all, because there's so many of them. Yeah, good. And these are going to be replay files that were created in an emulator, copied over, and now they're being run on a completely unmodified console. This is in no way touched by us in strange ways. So I'm going to let you take it away.
All right. So.
Oh, wait, one other thing before we go. On the couch, we have MediaMagnet.
Hello.
And I'm just going to call you numbers. Is that OK? All right. His badge always has a random string of numbers on it, and I don't know what to call him.
All right. So basically, here we have the 5 replays I'm going to be going through. These were all created at varying different times. You can actually see the dates here of when they were created. So the first one I'm going to be starting with is Spiral. So I guess I can give a countdown for time, just because.
I don't know if it matters much, but go for it.
Yeah, may as well. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Now he's going to be using a specific camera angle.
Yeah, otherwise it gets rather crazy.
This is going to be rather crazy. I don't think it's going to cause anybody any epilepsy, but it's going to really harsh the encoder, let me tell you.
Yeah, so this task was made by eDragon. Basically, okay, so really quickly to talk about for this game, there's kind of 3 main mechanics that make these tasks really insane. First one is a mechanic called MT, where if you turn off the engine, you can maintain your speed a lot better. The second is shift boost, where if you catch air, you get a lot of speed like that. And the third one I'll talk about towards the end, but those are the 2 that matter the most. Actually, one more that I forgot. So also, the way that it's getting a lot of speed to catch air is the drift that it's doing, called an MTS, where pretty much you turn and stray sideways. And yeah. So not all that matters quite as much as just seeing it go really fast, I guess. But if you're somewhat familiar with this game, that's kind of what that's about.
And this is the slowest of the levels we're going to show you.
Yeah. So we'll rank them up progressively in terms of becoming more and more visually impressive.
Or confusing, depending on your outlook.
Also, if you see on the side, it does say TAS on it. That basically comes down to whoever made the TASs at the time, you can put on custom emblems and stuff like that on your vehicles, and eDragon happened to put one on there that says TAS on it. So. And then it just saves on the replay. So.
How fast are we going right now?
Oh yeah, so we're bouncing generally between 3,000 to 6,000 kilometers an hour. And for perspective, if you're casually playing the game, the highest speeds you really get up to are between 1,000 if you're not boosting, and up to maybe 1,700, 1,800 if you are. So we're going at 3 to 6 times the normal game speed.
So I believe the answer is very fast.
Yeah.
Very fast.
So that was the first course, Spiral. Up next, I'm going to be doing Multiplex. This task was actually just finished, like literally a week ago. The date on there was wrong, but this one was done by superSANIC. It's actually going to be using the same vehicle. Long story short for this vehicle, it gets the most speed out of shift boost while maintaining the speed really well as well. So it just happens to be best for that.
Walls are merely a suggestion.
So is gravity, apparently. Oh.
Oh, yeah. To give a perspective on the last course, the time that the task got on the last one was 1:30, versus the real-time record is 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So it was almost twice as fast on that one. And then on this course, the record gets like a 1:33, versus I'll say what the time is at the end of it. First of all, there's that.
Deliberately.
Yeah, deliberately. So in this game, the vehicle can just cross the finish line. It doesn't actually have to still be alive. And you actually get different physics when you cross the finish line, or as soon as you die, rather. So you can actually use suicide finishes to your advantage. They're done in real-time attempts sometimes, but nothing as insane as that one. But also the time for that was 40 seconds. So again, almost twice as fast as a normal. So
Now, what are you switching at the top? You select Pico.
Oh yeah, you can actually select a bunch of different music. This game has like original soundtracks for every character in the game. This save file only has 4 unlocked, unfortunately. But I don't know. Whenever people play replays,
I don't think anybody's paying attention to the music anymore.
Yeah, it's all right. Also, I forgot to mention, this one was done by Jag20. So he's actually an F-Zero X taster, but he did this one-off for this game, which was really surprising. It was kind of out of nowhere, and he just released it, and it was really impressive. So up next, this is going to be another one by eDragon. This one's pretty insane. It's about half the time of what the world record is, so it's almost twice as fast.
Also, it is really, really hard on encoders, on video encoders, so it's going to look pretty bad on your screen.
So it starts out normal looking, and then right about here.
Did we just peak past 10,000 kilometers per hour?
Yeah. So in this game, you actually have a speed limit of 10,000 kilometers an hour, but only if you maintain that speed for more than 1 frame. So there's several times where this TAS peaks over 10,000 for just 1 frame, or else if you went over 10,000 for more than 1 frame, then you would instantly stop. So. Yeah, and then this last one is actually very short, so make sure you're paying attention because it'll go by quickly. This is actually done using a technique called snaking, which is a different gameplay category than all the max speed ones that you've seen. Basically, if you're using these settings, whenever you're turning, you can gain speed. So it's only relevant for about the first 3 seconds or so. But yeah, this one's very quick, so keep your eyes open. This one was made by CGN, by the way. I'll just keep it on the same music. But
how many Gs is this guy pulling anyway?
You're about to find out?
Apparently.
And time. So those are 5 TASs. Oh yeah, we can end the timer, I guess.
Yeah,
but
you can end it.
Yeah.
But we're not done.
Yeah, we're not done.
We're not done. So we're going to do something different on another memory card. I'll let numbers here flip them over here.
Yeah.
You probably want to exit out of this, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that works, too.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
So he's got another memory card with another list of levels.
Do you want to take control of this?
Oh, yeah.
You want to trade seats, or?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, sure.
Sweet. So we have something else to show you here. Whoa. Well, that's interesting.
No, seriously, you can't go any faster.
How did you get into debug mode? Okay, well, do we have a Game Boy Advance here?
We do.
Oh, imagine that. Wonder how that got here. All right. Oh, I just heard of the Game Boy Advance turn on. So we're sending stuff to a Game Boy Advance. Interesting. Okay, you got 5 seconds. Okay, so let's see what happens next. I bet you can guess what's going to happen next. Something strange.
Well, that's a given.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's almost like I shouldn't try acting like I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I led the team that built it. So, do you want to explain what you're doing here, or what's happening here?
So we're actually going to run a course using a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, so basically the inputs for one of the tasks have been uploaded onto the Game Boy Advance, and then we're going to get it all set up so it's ready to go, and basically we'll start it at the right time. the GBA is waiting for some information from the GameCube once it's plugged in, and pretty much from the screen. Once we're ready, the Game Boy Advance will take over. So
we no longer have a controller of our own plugged in.
Yeah, we now only have the GBA plugged in.
Yep. I love this robot dancing. It's awesome.
If Rob had legs, would he dance like that?
Yeah. I don't think this is skippable, right?
It is, but it probably just worked out better for syncing.
Yes, that's right. So keep in mind, this is a Game Boy Advance doing what you're seeing right here.
The Game Boy Advance is plugged into controller port 1 and nothing else is plugged in.
So this is the very first console verification of any disk-based system ever. So this is actually a pretty big deal. It was obviously a lot of work to get to this point, and who all do we need to thank for that? Extrams,
definitely metaconstruct.
Oh, there's a huge number of people. From here on out, though, it's just going to desync and derp a lot.
Now, it is partially drivable with the Game Boy Advance plugged in, with just the A button and strafe. You can get a little bit farther into the course, but not very far.
Oh, you can actually do that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time for us to be ready for the next memory card, so let's do one more.
Yeah. And this is the one that requires the hard power.
Yeah. Why don't you, do you want to help him swap consoles real quick?
I think we might be able to do it on the same one.
You think so? Okay, well, let's do it. Let's try it on the same one then.
Okay.
They got it working in the last second to make it to where we just need to be warm.
Sweet. Awesome. Find all kinds of bugs this way. So we have a third memory card we're going to show you. There we go. I know, I just said there we go. That's the one thing everyone says all the time. But it is going, and it is there, and anyway.
Well, there it is.
Yeah, exactly. We never save anything, it seems. All right, one last section here.
So same as the last one, we'll select the
just
replay
go into
menu.
replay. And as soon as we get into the replay menu, fun things happen. Ooh, interesting. Seems like it's off just a little. Ooh. Did that just say enslaving scientists? Oh, it's off the bottom of the screen. It's okay. There's stuff happening that you can't quite see. There we go. Oh, hey, look. Hey, what's that? All right. It's time. So, Mr. Host Station, Real Coon, are we saving or killing the animals?
They are still being saved.
Okay.
B button.
B button.
The B button.
Kill them anyway. All right. All right. All right.
You want to do it?
We'll let MediaMagnet do the honors.
Which one?
Are we killing or saving?
Save.
We're saving.
That's what they voted for.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Oops.
Those turrets are never very accurate.
No. Well, I think we saved the animals. This time.
Oh, no.
Is that System D? Well, guess where we're at, guys. So I'd like to take a little bit of opportunity to thank the TAS authors, the people that made these levels. I can't read their names fast enough. eDragon, Jag20, CGN, superSANIC. They made some of the runs you saw today. Then we have the F-Zero GX community resource providers. There are a bunch of people that were involved in a lot of aspects of this, but in this particular case, this was this person right here, David J, and FSF. So advising TASBot community members. Takes a lot of work to do this. I was just the organizer and presenter. Serisium was a huge help. UnclePunch, PistonMiner, Bob Senior, Junior Senior. I always get his name backward. They were all in our Discord, in the TASBot Discord. Reverse engineering and ACE, there was a huge amount of effort that went into figuring out how to take complete control of a GameCube and finding a 0 day. That goes to YoshiFan28, Numbers, and Metaconstruct. The credit sequence you're watching right now was with some pretty awesome assembly type music, I gotta say. I like it. Made by CraftedCart. He put in countless hours to make this credit sequence, including all of what you saw earlier. Then we had the graphics and sound team. We originally called this Torturing the Animals, but decided that wasn't the best taste for that. Huge number of people. CraftedCart, Funkmastermp, who made art, Dr. D, oh, I can't even say them all. See, I told you I couldn't get them all. And then seriously, super special thanks to a couple of people who put in a lot of brain power into this. That includes Extrams, Fix94, the entire F-Zero GX community. Just a lot of people involved in making this possible. We have one last thing for you. Aww. And with that, there's last bit to say here. First of all, thank you so much for everyone who helped make all of these segments possible. I'm just the presenter and organizer. There's a huge team of people that support what we do. If you want to watch tool-assisted speedruns, you can go to tasvideos.org. I'm the site ambassador there. I'd love to welcome you into our community. If you're interested in seeing tool-assisted speedruns played back on real consoles like we've done today a couple of times, stop by either my Twitch channel, dwangoAC, or stop by our Discord channel at discord.tasbot.net, or just tasbot.net for general information. With that, I think that's did I miss anybody or anything?
That sounds like it all.
I always miss attributing somebody, so I apologize if I missed your name. Thank you to everyone, and that concludes our task block for this year. Thank you.